log on. We had about 160, I think, watching. We did like a reaction show straight after the race, Andy.
So okay, yeah, right.
Which was like legit, like just me and Toby just talking shit about what we'd seen straight away, kind of thing. So we'll see. Oh yeah, 60 people already. We'll get started in a second. Can you see the comments and stuff there as well?
Yeah, I can now.
Yeah, so a few listeners will put those in as well.
Wow, thanks, John.
That's good, isn't it? Let's go, John. Yeah, John's up and about. He's excited. Dale's here. Welcome, Inside Run podcast audience. It's this is the audio that we really wanted to add on to the end of the episode, Moose. So here we are with the new king of Australian distance running, the Australian marathon record holder, Andy Buchanan. Thanks for giving up some time and joining us for the Inside Running podcast.
Hey Brady, hey Moose. It's it's good to be on, and I'm excited about chatting all things Valencia, and whatever else we chat about. So yeah, thanks for having me on.
You sunk in yet?
Been hungover, mate?
It hasn't sunk in yet. It's still so far from sinking in. I think it might sink in when I get home. I'm not sure. Like sometimes these things take a while. And Moose, somehow, no, I actually had a few beers the night of the race and, the night after, sorry, not the night before, but I pulled up. I don't know. I feel like your body hurts so much that like you don't get that hungover. I don't know. Have you guys ever had that or?
It's just hard to get beers down for me. Like I just feel sick.
Oh, they were tasting really good.
Oh, they would, wouldn't they?
The ones I was having.
And I didn't taste absolutely impeccable.
And I didn't buy one all night.
Some beers ever. Yeah.
So free beer always tastes better.
Oh yeah,
that's good.
Lovely.
But a serious question, like the magnitude of it all. Like you kind of said, it won't sink in until we get home. But what are we? 48 hours past now. Like surely it's starting to sink in a little bit.
It is a little bit. Like I flew back to London last night, and I'm just back at the house here in Teddington. And this is like a bit of like I've spent a fair bit of time here, so it feels a bit more normal. Whereas when I was in Valencia, you're in the race hotel, you're bumping into Bakili all the time, and there's just like Jordan Donnelly, he's floating around the lobby all the time, all that stuff. So it's sinking in a little bit more now because I'm back in a bit of normality.
Tell me about your parents. They would have been super pleased too, wouldn't they? Alan, Jenny, what was the phone call like giving them a call?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a bit funny. Like they're obviously involved in running and like they were really proud, and it's just we don't really have that many deep and meaningful conversations. So when I call them and they're like, oh wow, that was a really like tremendous achievement, it kind of hits me really hard because I'm not used to those conversations with my parents. And it was really cool because they've helped me so much along the journey, and they still play a role even though I'm a 33-year-old. I still rely on my parents to do things while I'm over here and all that kind of stuff. So it was really special, and I'm sure Dad's been telling all the people in his cycling bunch back home in Bendigo. So he loves the subtle brag about me back home, which is good.
Well, when I rolled into work yesterday, Monday morning, and talked to a guy who does do a bit of cycling with your dad, and I said, hey, Scotty, you've seen Andy's result? And the first thing he said is like, Andy's dad, Alan, will be up and about. He just loves a chat. He'll be chewing everyone's ear off in that cycling bunch. So, very funny that you referenced that.
Yeah, that does not surprise me.
Andy, so who was your support party over there? Did you have crew that went over with you?
Yeah, so we had Izzy Bat Doyle and her partner Riley Cox we weren't on the same flight, but we got into London at pretty much the same time. So we were here in Teddington together, which was really good. I'm used to kind of coming over by myself, and it was just nice to have some people in the house, some people to run with every day. So we were here, and then when we got to Valencia, Sonia actually came over, and she was kind of making sure we were all good, making sure we knew what to do, kind of getting our drinks organized, all that stuff. So we had a good support crew, which is a bit different compared to some of my previous experiences in Hamburg, where I've just been here by myself, flown to Germany, not known a single person. So it was really nice to have those people around. And Sonia kind of come up to me straight afterwards and like gave me a big hug. And she's like, I just remember Sinead when she broke the Aussie record, no one was there. And I think it was you, Brady, that was the first person.
I was the only person. Yeah.
Yeah. And Sonia was just like, I just wanted to give you a hug so you could hug someone. So that was, really cool to have some people around.
Did you get pretty emotional crossing the line?
Not emotional. It was just disbelief. Like it's a strange feeling. I was running along and my sole goal was to break the Australian record. That was what I was really targeting. I didn't think I'd get the world champs time, but that was in the back of my mind, but it wasn't like we're going to go for it. And ticking both those and running a massive PB, it was just like, holy shit, did that happen? Like, surely that didn't happen. And then you kind of look at your watch and you're like, okay, that did happen. So it's just trying to like process all that. And you're looking around and there's all these guys that have like just ran 202, 203. And it's like, how do they do that? And it's, it was mental. So I don't think it was probably afterwards. That's when it started to really sink in. Once we went into that underground car park and you were kind of, you had a bit of space to yourself. And then I think it wasn't until I got back home to the hotel and I was in the bathroom about to have a shower and I kind of looked at myself in the mirror and it was the first time I'd been by myself and I was like, holy shit, you just ran like 206. Like, what the hell? Like, that's not like you. Yeah. I don't know. I don't see myself as that person. So that was a bit of a pinch yourself moment.
When did you start to think this is possibility in the lead up? Because you said your sole target was to break the record. At what point, after what race over the past 6 months or more did you think this is a 50-50 type thing? Like, I'm a legitimate chance to do this.
Yeah. So after Hamburg, like, and talking to Ali, and she just been like, this isn't a fast course, Andy. Like, this is not a great course. And that's all I knew. So I thought it was a good course. And she was like, oh, if you go somewhere else, you run so much faster. And when I ran 208.50, I felt like there was more there and I could be more aggressive and I could run a bit faster. So that seed was planted way back in April. And then kind of the Olympics happened and I thought I ran really well there considering I didn't really have a prep and all that kind of stuff. So that was another, like, a bit more confidence again. And obviously Gold Coast half went well. And then Melbourne half went extremely well because I felt really comfortable during that race and won by a lot. So it was just like, I feel like every month I was just leveling up and up and up. And I just kept going and training was going well. And I was doing similar sessions. And it was probably 5 or 6 weeks ago, I was chatting to Scotty, who's my actual coach, not you, Julian.
Hey,
I credited Scott. I credited, if you have a listen, I give him the credit.
At no stage during that interview Moose did today did he say anything about being
I think
your coach.
They just got it confused with hero, and they meant to write Andy Buchanan's hero.
I can't use these jokes anymore. He's the Australian record holder. I'm sick of people talking down to
him. So I spoke to Scotty, and this was probably 6 weeks ago, and he said, like, what do you think, like, what are we thinking marathon pace is? And I said, I genuinely think I can run 2:59s to 3-minute Ks. And he was like, okay, so that gives you like a 2:06.30 or whatever it is. And I was like, I don't want to think about finish time because that freaks me out. Like, that's like, I can't do that. Whereas if I just think K, like K splits, I feel like it's, for me mentally, that's a lot easier to get my head around. So that was the kind of plan. And we trained to that. And I've done these sessions out at Huntley for the last 4 or 5 years. And I know how I feel in each session. And I know that when I hit marathon pace, I'm actually hitting marathon pace. So, so that I took confidence from that. And then I just kept telling myself I can do it. I feel like for so long we had these restrictions on us in Australia where we were, I don't know, we thought 2:08 was a like a really good marathon time. Whereas you look at the world stage and that's so far behind. So I just kind of kept telling myself that 2:08's the new kind of 2:13. kind of thing. So therefore, why can't I run 206?
Give us some numbers for some of the workouts. Like all your stuff's publicly on Strava, but like when you say you felt like it was marathon pace, and a lot of our listeners, me included, we never know what our marathon pace is. We do these big workouts and it's like, yeah, you can do them. Could you then hold that for 42K? Maybe, maybe not. Probably more people than not, it turns out. You can't. Like, what were some of the numbers and the workouts you were putting out in these sessions? And then like perceived effort, like how are you actually feeling? Is it a 7 out of 10, a 6 out of 10? Could you do the session again at the end of the session?
Yeah.
Like, some details.
So probably the main session I remember is like it's a 16K tempo, just 16K straight, no recoveries or anything. And we really try to dial in on marathon effort. And I'm not really looking at my watch, and it's like I just get into that zone, and I think I can find that effort zone quite well, and it's something I don't really chase. And I was out at Huntley, and I had one of my friends, Ben Powell, on the bike, and I was chatting to him the whole way, just talking, and I felt good. And we did 16K, and I could have easily done, it's a 4K loop, and I could have easily done another 2 laps easily. Like, just, yeah, sure, I'll do that. And I knew then, I was like, yeah, this is good. And I actually, on my watch, it said 258s, but then when I put it on the Strava, it said 259s, which like hurt the ego a little bit, like just a typical runners. Yeah, like a typical runners thing. Like 58 sounds so much better than 59. But turns out the 59 was right, because that is what I did average in Valencia. So there was some sessions like that, but there was probably the best thing was I was doing some sessions like 4x2.5K off 2 minutes, and I was starting at 255s and getting down to like I'd try and blow myself up in the third rep, and I'd be running 244 average and sustaining it and not blowing up. And like, I'm actually trying to blow myself up and then coming back to a controlled effort in the last one. And I felt like I could just keep running and I just wouldn't slow down. Like, it's this weird feeling where it was just like, it's like you're on one of those things at the airport, like the travelator, where you're like you go really fast. That's what I felt like on so many sessions. I was just like putting my feet down, and it was just like, yeah, just so easy. So, and then a big thing we did this build, which was different, it was probably a 6-week build, probably not even, like it was really short, because I had Paris in the legs. And then I was hitting like a fair bit of track stuff on a Tuesday, and I was training as if I was going to do a 10K track race. So I did like 5x2K. One of those was pretty fast. I can't remember the exact splits, but I was on a Tuesday, I was treating myself like a 10K runner. And then I'd kind of show up on Wednesday to do the midweek long run like a marathoner. So, yeah.
So do you think that will be something you do in the future for marathon builds too, given it works so well?
Yeah, I think so. I think my weakness is my like that VO2 kind of stuff, like the 10K half marathon kind of area. I think I can improve that a lot. And I think through doing that, that makes the marathon pace feel so much better. And I think I'm naturally more, I'm better at that slower stuff, and I can do it for longer. So that's one thing I'm going to do a little bit more of. And I'm really keen to do another half and try to run 60 something or something like that. So that's a big goal for me. But I think I just hit that sweet spot of doing an April marathon, doing the Olympics without the build, but I got the race in the legs, and then building to Valencia. I think it was like the perfect year for me in terms of training. If Valencia was like 2 weeks later, I might have like overdone it. But I feel like everything just fell into line this year, and training was just like, it just clicked.
That sounds like a beautiful feeling, doesn't it, Moose, when you try by yourself up and you're running 240K pace? Just like, that's what we train for. You might get that once in a lifetime. You got it just like for the last 6 weeks.
I'm literally thinking about when I was the fittest that I've been, and I'm still blowing myself up in sessions pretty regularly.
Yeah.
Never had that feeling, unfortunately. So I'm interested, though, in how you got to that place. What do you attribute it to mainly?
I think the last 10 years, like people, like, and you guys know, and I don't know, I feel like heaps of people this year have said to me, like, oh, you've just come out of nowhere. And it's like both you two know where I was 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. And I've been really consistent. I've put in the work for a long time. And I just think it's, now it's finally paying off, because I haven't changed anything. My running training's the exact same. I probably put a bit more emphasis on my gym lately, and I've improved a few things around my diet, and I work with the sports psych pretty regularly now. So those little things have made a difference. But my running has been, it's the same. It's the same formula. Scotty and I haven't changed anything, and it's just marathon build after marathon build, and 2.5 hours every Sunday. That's the magic. The magic is years and years.
Isn't that what I said today, Moose, in that group chat? When people say, this is what happens, you have this big performance, and then people try to find an answer straight away. I was explaining, I said, 49 out of the 52 weeks, he does the shittest long run in Bendigo over rocks for 2.5 hours, when it's just like, it's miserable, it's not fun. If he's raced on the Saturday afternoon cross country, he still does it on the Sunday, and he's been doing that for 10 years. And like, that's one, I just kind of went through dot points. I'm like, this is what I reckon. And then another one I said, I'm like, is rarely, like, you compare your injury rate to maybe Brett, Jack, Pat's, like, you've hardly been injured the last 10 years as well. Like, you've been able to have that ability to string the years together as well, which, maybe that's, or definitely is paid dividends on Sunday.
Yeah, I agree there. And like, I still remember having a conversation with you, Moose, around when I was going to debut in London, in Hamburg, and what I was going to try and run. And I just think the way I went about it was really smart. And like, I wouldn't change it. I'm still so glad I ran 2:12 for my first one, and then I ran 2:10, and then I ran 2:08, and then now kind of this. Like, I wouldn't change any aspect of that. And I'm no longer scared of the marathon at all. Like, I'm pretty like, I don't think, holy shit, 42K, that's a long way. Like, that doesn't go through my brain. And it's and I think that's because I've only ever had positive experiences. So I'm not waiting to hit the wall. I'm not waiting to blow up, because I've just taken those good jumps. And I, like, being very honest, I actually finished and I was like, all right, I reckon I can run 2:05 next time.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, because you
I don't think anyone can doubt you anymore when you say anything like that.
Now, keen. Oh, sorry, you go, Brady.
No, you go.
I'm keen, Moose. What did you think I was going to run? Because I feel like you often.
I'll read out messages from the message group.
Bit.
Halfway through the race, Moose just goes, I don't think he's a 2:06 guy. 21 Ks later, you were a 2:06 guy.
That was my message. I don't think he's a 2:06 guy. And that is my honest opinion. I did not think no one's been a 2:06 guy in Australia ever before.
Yeah, so, I'm not bagging you out. I don't think I'm a 2:06 guy, and I did it. Like, it's fine.
You are a 2:06 guy, and I think like, you came through the not the sly way, but the underground hidden way. Like, I talked about it today in that interview on the radio, that you did not come through breaking records like a lot of your compatriots who are under 2:10. You weren't winning NCAA championships, representing Australia in the 5K at the Com Games, that kind of thing. So we didn't, like, you kind of don't have the same stepping stone pathway like a lot of those other guys do. And maybe that's why you didn't sort of get the what do I say? Like, the predictions that maybe they do all the time. That's probably why we didn't feel like you were a 2:06 guy, because you'd only broken 60. How many times you break 62?
Twice, I think.
Twice, yeah. And then you're going to run 63?
Yeah.
Through, like, it ain't
he ran 62.51 through the first half.
That's right, 49. 62.49.
I got 51 on mine. Did they change the track and splits. These are my notes from after the race, but that could be wrong. Andy, you probably as well, like you are very diligent with your nutrition. Like you pace any race very well. Like I can't remember you having a shocker, maybe a couple of times when you've maybe that national cross when you kind of rush back after a marathon, I think it was, but it's pretty rare to see a mistake that you make tactically in the race and you're fueling. Like, can you talk us through what did the carb load look like? What did the race day nutrition look like? Because as you said, like you never fear hitting the wall because I think you're so dialed in with that because you've actually put time into it.
Yeah, so I reckon it was probably 4 years ago. I reached out to Jess Rothwell because I had a thing where I was like, all right, what are my competitors getting that I'm not getting? And it's access to sports dietitians, that kind of stuff. And I was like, all right, well, I need to try to make this a level playing field. So and that's when I started seeing the sports psych as well. But I reached out to Jess. We've worked together a lot, and she's helped me so much. And not just with the pre-marathon fueling, but just day-to-day stuff. And I caught up with her like a month ago, just to chat about how I was going and that kind of stuff. And she's she's my dietitian, but she's also a close friend, which is really handy and helpful for me. So I go pretty hard on my carb load. So I race on a Sunday. My carb load starts on a Thursday. And it's essentially having that's good. Tarby's always the king with the stats, so
so good.
We'll go by his stats.
People listening, Dave Tarbottom's just put up the splits and I was right, move 62-51.
I was reading off our agenda the other night.
Yeah, Croaks, blame him for that.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, the carb load.
So I go pretty hard. I go very safe. So I just have plain food. So it's pasta, rice, that kind of stuff. But it's the hardest part about a marathon is the carb load. Like I'm eating that much that it's like really uncomfortable. You don't want to eat, and then you have to go up and get another plate of rice. So it's essentially just eating twice as much as what I normally would for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Heaps of Powerade, heaps of Coke, heaps of lollies, like just snacking on rice bubbles in between. I was actually having those Morton solid bars a fair bit. They're really helpful, a really good way to get some carbs in.
Do you track it, like calculate it as you're eating it to see what kind of number you're on? No, just go.
Purely just to feel like it's like Jess has plans for me where it's like, okay, for lunch, I want you to have like, I don't know, 3 cups of rice with maybe a little bit of tuna, maybe a little bit of this or that. And then I'm just going there and going, yep, that's about that much. All right, sweet. And then I'll just keep eating until I know what the how I feel, and I know what that should feel like. And it's the same during the race. So I don't know if Jess will listen to this, but we kind of work out a pretty exact number, and I put 100 ml in my drink bottles, and then I'll just drink however much I feel like. So sometimes I'll drink nearly all that. Sometimes I'll leave not a fair bit, but I'll definitely leave 20, 30 ml in there. So I don't know. I feel like I've gotten quite good at knowing what my body can handle. And I'm the opposite of like a numbers guy. Like some people they're like, yep, I need to have 40 grams per hour per whatever. Whereas I'm just like, nah, I just run along, and I always have a bit extra in there. And if I feel like I've taken on too much, I'll take on a bit less next time, and that kind of stuff. So yeah,
so 100 mil, that's not much every 5K.
Yeah, of 320.
Pretty concentrated though.
Yeah,
carbs in that
like
100 mil.
600 mil for the 700 mil for the event.
Yep, with flat Coke at 40k too. So no Morton at 40k.
So that's Morton drink mix, the 320.
Yep.
Mixed to recommendation.
Yep.
So that's like just quick math. That's not much carb at all. Like, what are you getting? Like 40 grams an hour or something?
I actually don't know. Like, I don't do the math.
It's very little.
Because like,
gels as well?
Nah.
Or
so
no
I have
gels?
a gel. I have a gel before I start, but that's it. But like, I'm not getting like, do you know what I mean? I'm not hitting the wall, and it's like, I don't think like, you look at my marathons, and it's not like I don't think I'm losing. Like, I'm not doing a Tom DeCano, no offense, Tom, but like I'm not losing time in the second half because I'm under fueling. Like it's like I feel like I'm fueling and
Yeah, you're getting 16 grams. It's not bad actually because you run so fast. Like you're actually getting a fit.
Well, his drink stations are every 15 minutes too, aren't they?
Yeah, that's right. Like I'm looking at it
400
now, like,
mils an hour.
yeah.
How many grams in that 400 mils?
16 grams in 100 mil, and he's getting
64 per hour.
Yeah, so it's actually not that bad. Like
64, yeah. But I think there's some stuff in that carb load. You're so loaded as well. You probably can be a bit lighter on the race.
So the way I look at it is when I start, I feel like overweight. Like I feel heavy. And I get to halfway and I feel how I would normally feel on the start one. And then I get to 30K and I'm like, oh yeah, like I'm still feeling pretty good. Whereas I feel like so many people, they start and they're like, they're good at the start and then they get to halfway and they're like, oh yeah, I'm starting to like, I'm not bonking, but I'm under where I need to be with my carbs.
Yeah. So would you say you have like some discomfort in that first like 10K with your stomach?
Not discomfort. It's just like, I don't feel like, I feel like this is an exaggeration, but you know, if you've gone to the pub and you've had a steak for lunch and then you're like, oh shit, I've got to do a run this afternoon. And you just don't feel great. Like that's an exaggeration, but it's something like that. Like you just don't feel, I hate using the word light because I just don't think I think it's a bad use, but it's like, you don't feel fast and poppy. You feel a bit like sluggish nearly.
Yeah, this carb load thing, most people drastically underestimate how much they actually need to fill their glycogen stores. Like they think we'll change our meals from steak to pasta. That'll be enough. But once you go to the dietitian like Jess and she writes you a plan, and like I have had a couple of plans written, and like the actual numbers plan, and it's insane how much you have to eat, carbohydrate wise.
Yeah, it's mental. Like and I don't know, like I eat a lot of, not a lot of bad stuff. Like I really try and have a good breakfast, good lunch and good dinner. But what I eat in between, I actually don't care because it's just like, I've just got to get the fuel on board. That's my main thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's more risky being underfueled. Like you're better off having some shit to make sure you're topped up and you got the calories there than thinking about clean eating and then being underfueled.
So during the race, sorry, just back to that fueling. So I've
talk about whatever you want, mate.
I've often missed my one of my drinks, and I didn't miss any drinks. And I had this issue in Paris where I because you get handed your drinks in the Olympics, like you don't miss them. And I actually got to 35K, missed the drink, I don't know how, and I actually got these really bad Morton burps afterwards, straight after, and I was like, oh, I reckon I've taken on too much here. And that actually happened. I started to get a little bit of discomfort, like just in my gut at about 15K. And then I was like, oh, that's like, this is a bit early to be getting this, like what's kind of going on? And like your brain like overanalyzes everything and you're like, holy shit, like I'm not going to finish, like this is going to get worse. And you're just like, and then, so just at 20K, I just took like, I don't know, 3/4 of my drink. And then I felt completely normal again. So like, I feel like a lot of runners would struggle to do that. They'd struggle to like adapt on the go and be okay with that and not freak out. And it's like, I'll never completely not take anything, but I'll just adapt how much I'm taking every 5K depending on how I'm feeling. So I feel like that works really well for me.
Listening to the body.
Yeah.
Don't change it. Don't
change. Technical meeting, Andy, when you heard about the pace groups, like did it freak her out a bit knowing it'll be around that 3-minute K pace?
Massively. So the whispers the week of were like, oh, there's going to be a 2:07:30 group. There's going to be 3 pacemakers. It's confirmed there's 15 guys in this group. And I'm like, oh, so if there's 15 guys, they don't know that I'm going in that. So that's another guy. And then there's probably 10 other guys. So I'm like, this is perfect. Like, I thought I could run 2:07 flat, 2:07:10. So I was like, be with that group, finish strong, and that's how I break the Australian record kind of thing. And then talking to some managers over there, they're like, oh yeah, that 207 group doesn't exist anymore. It's 206.30. And I'm like, no, like this, what is happening? And I'm like, why have I decided to come to Valencia? Like, because it was 206.30. And then guess what the next pace group was?
210.
210.
10 was it? Yeah, breaking 210.
And I'm just like, oh, why have I come here? Like, and I thought it was the worst. I was trying to like get some support around a 207 flat group. Apparently there's these two on guys that Jordan was talking to. They were looking for something similar. And I'm trying to like gather some momentum. And then, it's funny. The technical meeting's all online, which is quite strange because it's kind of good going to that meeting because then you talk to people afterwards. You're like, oh, what are you going to do? Are you going to go with this group, that group? But I called Scotty, my coach, and he was just like, look, I think you've just got to go with it. There's a group there and see. And we come up with the plan, and it was get to 5K, hit split, which that's what I always do. And he said, if it's 15 minutes, awesome. Like we're really, really happy with that. If it's 14:55, just check in on how you're feeling. If it's 14:50, that's too fast. This is what we thought prior to the race. And I think Scotty, my improvement over the last few years has exceeded his expectations, and he doesn't fully get the super shoe, the carb mix, like the advancements in running over the last 5 years, which is fair because he hasn't really been doing that many competitive marathons. But to him, like to me, 206 with all the changes is like, it's a good result. But to him, it's like phenomenal. So I think he still thinks I can't run that fast. So that's why we kind of thought 14:55 might be, 14:50. If that's it, it's too fast. I can't do that kind of thing. So we split on my watch. I split 55 for the first one, and I was first 5K, and I was like, all right, this is good. But then it wasn't until actually there was an American guy I was running with, and at 15K we were still just looking at it now, 57, 55, and then 55 for the first 3 5K splits. And I was like, oh, this just feels a bit too fast. Like I'm used to getting to 30K feeling awesome and then going from there. And I thought and I actually said this to the American guy, I said, I'm going to let this group go. You're looking good. You keep going. But I just feel like I'm reaching, and I'm not used to feeling this at 15K in a marathon. And like just little things, you know, how you're over analyzing every little muscle fiber in your body. And like my right calf was just like, I was like, oh, is that something there? I'm not sure. And then like my feet were starting, I could just feel some sensations there. So I actually let the group go, and I reckon there was like a 30, 40 meter gap that formed. And I looked behind me, and like these roads are like dead straight, Moose. Like you can see for a K, and I literally couldn't see a single person. And I was like, shit. And I was like, all right, I've just got to back myself, and I'm just gonna have a crack at this. So it wasn't until 20K that I actually like committed to the group and was like, okay, I'm doing this. So prior to that, it was honestly like a fartlek, because you're in this big group. The paces come through the drink station. Often they don't take anything on because they're just going to 30K or something. And they're like often like 204 guys. So they're just jogging along. So, or their tables at the front. So they slow down, and then they accelerate out of the drink station while we're all still going through the drink station, and it's an accordion. And you'll get your drink and you'll look up, and it's single file, and the paces are actually like 20 meters ahead, and you're 5 meters off the last guy, and you're like, holy shit. So that was literally me, 5K, 10K, 15K, and at 20K. It was like a fartlek. And do you know how hard it is to catch a group when they're running 259s? Like, oh, it is hard. And so it was, sorry, we've gone into the race here, but it wasn't until probably 20, 25K that I actually fully committed to that 206.30 group.
Yeah.
Okay. Because every time we saw you, you were just like, you're on the back. And it was like, and then they'd show that every time someone would drop, it was like they'd throw back to them. They're like, this guy's gone. But then you'd see you just on the back of the pack still. And you're like, and then I think you messaged me, Moosh, at like, 30, 32K, somewhere like that. And it's like, oh, wow, he actually looks really good. Like, because we didn't get to see what the splits looked like. And it wasn't until you picked up a drink, you went through a drink station and you were so composed. Must have been 30K drink station. And you're like, I called it, didn't I, Moose? I'm like, Australian record's gone. I'm going early. He's got it. Like, it's, yeah. I was like, because I saw how you looked. I'm like, he's not in trouble splitting 3 minute K or 2.
Not at all. But you're off the back. You're off the back, and the first thought was like, there's a gap. He's like, it started.
No, but it was a smart off the back, I felt.
So yeah,
put yourself there on purpose.
Yeah, that's right. You could look at it, and you looked at his face, and you're like, well, he's off the back, but it doesn't, like, he's actually looking more comfortable than everyone around him.
Yeah, I don't know, hindsight's a wonderful thing. And if I was to run that race again, I would put myself in the middle of the group, because the back of a pack is a really shit spot to be, because you're constantly getting dropped out of the drink stations and you're constantly going, oh, is this guy fading? Do I need to go around him? Is he about to be the next person dropped? So you're not relaxed. And that first 20K, my main thought was like, all right, when is this group dropping me? And that's not a great headspace to be in. So like that's why I think I can run faster, because if I just put myself in that same group, I think I can just relax and just sit on the bus and just chill to 30K, whereas I was not chilling.
So when did the mindset change from like thinking that you're going to get dropped to whatever else happened?
Yeah, so probably it was about 20K. I think that I was just like, I've got to commit to this. And I was like, the mindset was still a bit like, oh, like this is so much faster than I've ever ran before. Like, am I making a massive mistake? And I feel like I'm quite conservative, so those thoughts are pretty normal for me. I struggle to send it, I suppose, as some people say. So it's yeah, but I think it was about 20 to 25K. I had a really good patch, and I actually moved up to near the front of the group because there was a drink station coming up, and I was like, I don't want to be that guy on the back. And I moved to like the middle, nearly the front of the group. And it was probably that moment. I think it was about 25K from memory, that drink station, where I was like, right, this is my position and this is where I'm going to be every drink station. So yeah. But then for me, like getting through 30K was a massive like mental shift for me, because I was like, all right, I've got to 30K. I know I'm towards the end of the race here, and I'm still feeling good. So it was like the fear of like what might happen kind of disappeared by then.
Did the group slow? So I was just going to say, looking at the splits, like there was that 15-20 from 30 to 35K. Like, were you guys still as a group then? That was like the slowest. That was 20 seconds out. Did the group intentionally slow and then to keep it together?
The group was together, and so what I do, and I've done it for every marathon, is I hit lap every 5K, and then I just look at that, and then I'm like, okay, is this good? Is this bad? And then I just kind of work towards the next 5K, and I really like that. And I see like Trev here mentioned like he thought I forgot to split 10K, which I did, but Tarby's getting those splits from the actual race. So the group was together, and I saw that, and I was like, prior to it, I was like, this feels like a 15:05. Like it feels like we're just that little bit slower. But when I saw 15:20, I was like, this doesn't seem right. And I don't know what happened, because you look at the Strava map and it's not a hill, but it's a hill. Like, so I don't know if that was it. I don't know if the group was planning on slowing. I'm not sure. Like on my Strava, it says like a 3:06 and a 3:07K, but I was not getting dropped there or anything. I was just running with the group. But
did the paces pull out at 30 though, maybe? And then people just, when it's like, who's going to take it up?
No. So I forget what stage it was. I'm pretty sure it was at 35K, we had 2 pacemakers. I was still, the group was probably 10 people. And Cesarek went to the front, dropped one of the pacemakers, and then the pacemaker jumped in with him. And it was the type of move that like we were the lead pack and he was wanting to win the marathon. Like it was a massive move. And Richard Ringer, the German guy, he was on my shoulder. He saw the move and he responded like it was a track race. Like I could not believe it. I was like, geez, he must be feeling good because he's just dropped the shit out of me and we're running 259s. Like, so I reckon that was about 35K. And the second pacemaker dropped out. So all of a sudden we're in this, like, prior to this, I was like, we've got 2 pacemakers. We've got a group of like 8 to 10 guys. Like this is the group through to the finish. Like this is the bus and I'm on it. And I'm like, life's sweet. And then literally a minute later, I'm like getting dropped nearly. And then there's this group ahead and I'm like, oh shit, are the guys I'm with, are they going to try and catch to that group? And I'm like, am I going to be running by myself here? Anyway, ends up Cesarek, like he went on to run 205 or something, and so did Richard Ringer.
24. So he's put 58 seconds into you in the last 7K, and you've held pace.
Crazy. And so they break away, and then what was it? There was a group of 4 of us, and because we'd just gone through 35K, I was looking at my lap average, and it was only like 400 or 500 meters in, so it was quite like good data, if that makes sense. And it was like 302 average, and I was like, oh, we're slow in here. And I'm like, I haven't come all this way to then just bleed 3 or 4 seconds a K in the last kind of 7K. So I went to the front, and that was the first time I kind of actually hit the front of a group, and I felt good. And I was just like, I'm going to keep pushing. And then, just kind of, I broke away from that group of 4 a little bit, but that was really the last. That was when the race started, if that makes sense, like in terms of racing. So I went to the front, just tried to drop everyone behind me. And people talk about the last 8 to 10K, Brady, and I don't know what your experience is.
Downhill.
Oh, it is phenomenal.
It wasn't phenomenal for me, mate. I was in a world of hurt, cramping, jogging 4-minute K pace. But yes, I know what you mean. I've been seeing it. Like, if you're having a good day, you would fly down that.
If you get to 35K with a little bit of running still in your legs, you can run really fast. Like because I dropped the group and I was like, all right, I just want to know what I'm running. I was looking at my watch a little bit more and I was just checking, and average pace was just 259. And I was like, I'm 37, 38K into a marathon and I'm running 259s and I'm feeling good. Like, it's just mental. Yeah.
And getting that positive, like, reinforcement too. Like, it's just a loop.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, So then are you at that stage? We're talking like, 39, 40K. Are you starting to do, I did read a quote somewhere that, like, I think it was on SEN this morning, like doing maths at that stage of the marathon's really difficult to do. But are you starting to go, hey, this is a 206, not just an Australian record? I've jumped in.
No, I had no idea. So because I don't like looking too much into splits, and I don't like looking at like, oh, if you run these splits for, like, I think people think about a goal finish time in the marathon and they get too emotionally attached to it, and then they make poor decisions during the race to get that time. So let's just say if it's a sub 3, they will push themselves to run that, whereas they probably shouldn't. Like, and they might just be a 3 hours and 40 seconds. Like, that might be their fitness. So I don't like to know what my splits equal out in terms of finish time, because I feel like you can just get caught up and make silly decisions. So I was running along and I was like, I feel like the pacers have done a good job. So I feel like we're on 206.30 pace. But then I was like, has Cesarek just broken away to be under that? Like, is that the group I need to be in for 206.30? Like, I genuinely thought that. And then at 40K, I was focused just on the Australian record, and it was like, what was it? 159.51 or something. So I was like, all right, let's let's round up just to be safe. I don't want to be that guy coming through at like 2:07:33. So I was like, all right, I'm rounding up to 2 hours, and then I'm going to round down to 2:07. So that's my goal, 2:07. And I'm like, all right, 3 minutes 30 per K for the last 2K. I can do that. But I was like, oh no, shit. A marathon's 42.195. So then I'm trying to factor in this extra little bit of a distance. And this is at 40K. So my brain is at like 5% capacity. And I'm just like, am I going to make it? Am I not? I'm stressing. Like I'm not relaxed, if that makes sense. And I still don't think I'm certain. And then you kind of start coming in, and because it was weird. The drink station was at 33K, and then the next drink station was at 40.8 or something. So there's a massive gap there. And I'm starting to think about, hey, I want my Coke. Where's my next drink bottle? And then I got it, and it actually distracted me for about a K there, which was great because all of a sudden I'm nearly on the blue carpet. The barricades are up. It's like 600 to go, and I'm like, holy shit, I'm nearly at the finish line here. I get to 400, and I've got 2 minutes, and I'm like, all right, sweet. I've got this. Life's good. I kind of start to smile. I start to like just relax, and that sometimes makes you run faster. And then I'm running towards the clock, and I see 2:05 high, and I was like, hang on, I might be able to get the world champs standard. And my brain's just thinking like, how nice would it be to have that ticked off? So therefore I'm not trying to chase it next year. So then it's all of a sudden, I don't care about the Australian record. It's 2:06:30 sub that I'm after. And I'm just running down, and you know those times where the clock sometimes seems to be going against you and you're like, it's going faster and you're not getting closer. This was the opposite. Like I felt like I was getting closer and the clock was in slow-mo, and I was just running along, and it's like 2:06:20, and I'm just like, shit, like how has this happened? How have I just ran a world champ standard that I just never thought I'd do? And then how have I just broken the Australian record by 70 seconds? It was phenomenal. Such a good feeling.
Thank you for recapping it, because, Moose is paddleboarding twice a week. I'm trying to hit 3-minute K pace during a monofart like this morning for my 1 minute reps. And we're just living through you now, mate. This is being able to hear these stories is phenomenal, and we really do appreciate it.
You pretty much just described the perfect marathon. Like that's what that is.
However, is there regret that you didn't go with Chesrek and Ringer and become a 2:05 guy? Like, do you think in hindsight you could have responded to that move and come in with those guys?
100%. At that, when they went, there was part of my brain that was like, go, but there was a massive part of my brain that was scared, because it was like, I can't, like, at that time, I still thought I was a 2:08:50 guy. Do you know what I mean? Like, I hadn't got the run on the board yet. So I was like, but there was part of my brain that was like, I feel good here, just go with them. But then there was a bigger part of my brain that was just like, nah, that's stupid. So like, it's one of those things. And that's where like, I'm excited to do another one, because if I'm running with the 2:06 flat or the 2:05 high or something like that group through 20K, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling relaxed. I'm confident, and I feel like I belong there. Whereas for half this race, I didn't feel like I belonged in that group.
Jeez, do you worry that like
going down further?
Do you worry that you'll never get those feels again? Like this is just some like miracle marathon? Because that is a pretty special feeling you're describing, and it's the marathon.
Yeah, like it's funny you say that, because I felt that exact same feeling a few months ago at the Olympics. I was like, I hit this massive low because I was like, late call up, Paris, ran well. How is it going to get better? Like, it's not, this is the peak for me. It's all downhill. Like, what's my motivation? Why am I going to get back into hard training in a few weeks' time? Like, I was really low after the Olympics. Not really low. It's a bit of an exaggeration, but my motivation compared to normal was really low. And I was just like, how am I getting out of this? And until you just mentioned that, then I was just on cloud 9 kind of thing. So I think it's like the way we're programmed, you're always going to want more, but I'm trying to get better at enjoying this moment and being like, hey, this is really special. But I still really think I can run faster.
That is something that so many retired sports people say, is that they wish they had have celebrated their successes at the time and really taken that moment in rather than always looking forward.
Yeah.
That's good that you've recognized that now, because it seems like it's everyone's main regret, all the champions.
Yeah. And like, that's why, like, I'm still in London now. And in the past, I've always just flown home the next day, got straight back to work, back to normal life, that kind of stuff. Whereas like I'm here for a few days and I'm just enjoying it because I don't know, I really like it over here, and it's keen to head into London and just, I don't know, live this life compared to my life back home with work, with running, with the shop, all that kind of stuff. Like, I'm keen to stay in this moment for as long as I can.
Yeah, and that's why the question about what's next is so shit. Like, I hate when someone crosses the finish line, they do a 3-question interview, and one of the questions is, what's next? You're like, just live in this moment for a while.
Yeah. And I've been asked that question a bit, and it's funny. I have thought about it, but I'm trying to like just be like, nah, let's just get through to Christmas, and then I'll make. But like, the average thing is like, I want to do a race in April, and they need the elite fields. So it's part of the business where now it's like, you've got to, so it's a bit of a, you need to find that balance. Like, and I'm really thankful I've got Nick, who I'll roughly tell him how I'm feeling, and he'll set up things if they need to be set up. But then if things happen, it can easily be withdrawn. So that's quite good.
Without asking, like, what's next race-wise, is there a move now? Moose talked about it on our weekly show last night, that you will look to become a bit more like professional and, dial back the workload?
Yeah, I want to. Like, I like working and I like that, but I don't like my balance at the moment. I would like to spend more time recovering. Like, it's not more time running. I don't need to run anymore, but it's just, I need to spend more time doing nothing. And that is the goal. But yeah, like, as Moose knows, when you open like a small business, the first year is pretty rocky. So it's like, there's stability in the teaching. Running is, I wouldn't say, the most stable industry. So it's like, I don't want to put all my eggs into the running basket at the moment. But yeah, I'm really hoping that like, I've really just signed with ASICS, so I'm hoping that some things can happen there, and I want to continue with them. And I don't know, I'm probably the least paid 206 marathoner in the world, but hopefully we can we can change that. So we'll just wait and see.
I was thinking ASICS fucking signed at the right time for you.
Yeah.
Got him.
They did, but they did the opposite of another brand, but that's old news. So it's, I'm really happy with them. It's going well, but hopefully they can like be like, oh, we want to support Andy to run the best he can, because that's good for us. How do we do that? We give him some more money. So yeah, we'll just wait and see.
You also can't change too much, because you're fucking this. You run 206 off what you're doing. You don't go changing formula.
Yeah, I don't want to become a full-time runner. Like, that doesn't interest me. I always want to teach. I really like my coaching. And I do a little bit in the store, but I don't really work on the floor. But I want to keep that. It's just like, ideally, I'm not getting to work on a Tuesday at 6 a.m., working all day through to, I normally get out about 4 o'clock, rushing home, getting changed, and then going to a session at 4:30. Like, that's the thing I need to change. So it's just trying to wiggle some things around and be a little bit smarter around that.
The man works harder than Croaks, Moose. Still teaches 3 days a week.
Absolutely.
Good run coach, run to PB, got the shop. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, but anyway, but as Moose said, it's like, It obviously did work though. Like
It did, but like how sustainable is it?
Yeah.
Like, am I just getting, like, you never know, but am I just getting away with it? Like, am I that 1 week from doing too much and getting sick, getting an injury or something like that? Like, it's yeah, I don't know, but that's the goal. Is I love work and I never want to be a full-time runner, but I just want to work a little bit smarter, not harder.
Makes sense. Any more questions for him, Moose? I thought this was going to go for like 20, 25 minutes, but we've nearly filled an hour. I've loved some of the rabbit holes we've jumped down.
What questions? Valencia, is it the super shoe of the marathon world?
100%. Like, if Brett gets back into really good form, if Jack continues to focus on the marathon, I'm nervous about them going to Valencia next year. Yeah.
Okay, next question. Brady has been fucking stressed about this. Brett Robinson didn't put a public acknowledgement of your record.
I wasn't stressed. People from Bendigo messaged me and asking hey mate, you know where Brett Robinson lives, because if he doesn't publicly acknowledge Andy soon, we're going to go down to his house and kick in his door. You know some of these people I'm talking about. There's some rough cats in Bendigo Moose, and most of them can fight, especially the red-headed ones down there. You know what I'm talking about, that group of people, Andy. He would have privately acknowledged it, but you reckon no public? Did I say Deke did? Deke acknowledged it?
Did he?
Publicly?
I haven't
Twitter.
Seen that.
I'll read it out to you. It's been screenshotting and put in the group chat with the Bendigo boys.
That'd be good, because I've missed so much the last few days, because it's been overwhelming, and like I do really appreciate everyone who sent me messages. It's so cool that I read all of them, and I am trying to respond to everyone, but it's I actually haven't seen anything, because anytime I'm on my phone, I'm kind of replying to messages. But I got a message from Mona, which was really cool. Like, he said, like, that's a phenomenal result. And hearing that from Mona, it's like, shit, this is cool. So
listen to this from Deke. Congratulations, Andy Buchanan, new Aussie national record, marathon 2:26:22 in Valencia Marathon. Incredible. It's a new world order. Go Aussie marathoners. And he threw in there hashtag Andy Buchanan. So I'm not sure what else comes up when I click on that hashtag Andy Buchanan, but I'm hoping a few other things. So I love that. I love that from Deke.
I thought you were going to say up the bats or something. Let the bats fly.
Bendigo bats are flying now, Moose. That's good. Should have seen all the sign-ups at Run a PB that hit my inbox today as well. Might have to put a cap on this man here. So I think when you first Google Andy Buchanan, Run a PB coaching comes up. So this has been good for business.
It does. So I've been getting emails to my Run to PB email about interviews, and I'm just like, how are they finding this? Because they obviously just Google me, and that's the first thing. But Brett did send me a message just saying congratulations, which was nice of him. I've only had this record for 2 days and I'm already attached to it. So I can't imagine how he feels when he was like, and there was so much press about it, because he was the first one in so long. It would be a bit awkward. And then especially like he didn't get to run Paris as well, and I kind of filled his shoes there. So it's but you know, he did message me, and I know that he'd be really happy, and I know that he would be wanting to go head to head with me, because he would still think he can beat me over a marathon, which is great, and that excites me. And hopefully we can race each other, and we can keep lowering the standard. Who's
the most random person that you've had an interaction from who's reached out to you? Because there been some blasts from the past, like primary school teachers or like someone from Bendigo.
Hottest chick that's in your DMs now.
Do not do that. Yeah, how many Instagram followers have you got in the last 48 hours?
Yeah, a lot. A lot. So I don't know how many exactly.
No random ones?
Not really. It was funny. Yesterday I was on the plane, and I had a guy. Actually, I was in the airport, and like you could imagine, 90% of these people flying back to London have just done the marathon. And I had this guy come up, and he was like, "Oh, Andy," and I was like, "Oh yeah." Like, I'm not used to getting recognized. And he was like, "Oh, like, great run today. My group are doing a session on Thursday. What session should they do? And I was just like, what do you mean? And I was like, if you've just done a marathon, don't do anything. But yeah, I told him to do a monofartlek because I figured that had a nice little Australian flavour. But a heap of like random people, like I feel like I've had a fair few AFL footy players kind of message me or follow me because I think they're kind of like, oh wow, like this is my 2K time, like this is pretty impressive. Ned Brockman, me and him are good mates now. We chat a little bit, so he's been messaging me.
Good friend of the show.
Yeah, he.
Australia's
it's cool.
famous runner.
He is, and that's yeah. But I'm trying to think of any. I've had some random ones. I got a lot of random ones at the Olympics of like, yeah, you're my your grade 2 like art teacher, and it's like, oh wow, thanks. That's I have no idea who you are, but thanks for the message. But I don't know. There's so many I haven't seen yet because you forget about the message requests, so you feel like you've made a good chunk, and then you check message requests on Instagram, and it's just another rabbit hole, and it's like, oh man, this is overwhelming.
Mine will be in there somewhere, mate.
I don't think I've actually had a message from you, Moose, and then all of a sudden you go on this like radio show saying you're my coach, and I was like, oh, this is interesting.
That's more genuine, I reckon. I'm the one who called that station and said I need to talk about my boy Andy.
Moose has actually said a lot of things that you've spoken about tonight. Like you've been on the same page about a lot of things, so I feel like that's
good coaching.
That's been good. Not good coaching, just a few points you've made. Oh, yeah, I did hear Moose say that earlier today. So about Valencia, he's big on like Valencia being the super shoe of marathon courses. That's what he's claimed it to be.
But it actually is. Like that last 10K is just phenomenal. Like it's just when you talk to people and they say, oh, like, how did you go? Or what was your result? And they just say Valencia. Like, and it's just like everyone who's run it knows what that means because it's just like, how do you explain it? You can't. It was just Valencia kind of thing. So, yeah, it was great.
So good. Any more questions, Moose? Actually, I've made some notes before we got on. I'm just going to make sure we've answered all of them, but I think we're good.
You would have written down some jokes in there that you haven't got out yet.
No jokes at all.
About how you used to towel me up at K-Reps.
Yeah, he's used all that on the main
Tuesday night.
Do you reckon my head-to-head's still like I'm still on top of our head-to-head over the years? Probably not. Be close. Anyway, I don't know. Someone can do the maths on that, but hey, how's your head-to-head against the Australian record holder, Moose? I did have a point here about this. Like, I'm glad we've spoken for an hour because I get concerned when I know people well and then they do something amazing that they're going to lose their like personality, Moose. And I'm like I kind of had a bit of trouble sleeping Sunday night because I was a bit shook. And then I was running around the next day in Mohammed, just like literally I'm running in the bush by myself, shaking my head, just being like, what the fuck happened? Like this Archie and I ran the next day and we're just like laughing at each other. We're like, we could not actually comprehend it. Like so I'm glad that you still got the boy next door vibes and I hope you have those for the rest of your life. And I think that's why a lot of our listeners enjoy and follow your journey and things like that because they can relate to you in some way and you haven't been this superstar from such a young age and been in this bubble where everyone's pumped up your tires and have that level of arrogance. So it's good to hear that you can still have a joke with a couple of old hacks like Moose and I and tell us all these stories.
Yeah, I'll still be the same person. And I made a quote. I can't remember who I made it to, and it's gone around a fair bit. And I said, like, I still consider myself just a guy from Bendigo who runs a bit. And like, and that is literally like, that's what I see it as. Like I still pinch myself. Like 206 is so fast. And I'm like, that's not me. Like that. I can't believe it. It's crazy.
Well, it is you now, mate. That's a perfect spot to leave it. Congratulations again, ladies and gentlemen. The new Australian marathon record holder, 206.22. Thanks for being here, Andy. Safe travels home. Thanks for giving up an hour on your what is it, Moose? Tuesday night. Thanks for giving up some time to join me. That was fun. Thoroughly enjoyed that, and thanks for all the positive comments coming in now live as well. So it's been a pleasure, Andy, and well done again.
No, thank you. Thanks for having me on, guys. Good to chat.
Good job, mate. Well done.
Thanks.